Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. A bit of a random video in that way that instead of covering one game, I'm quickly going over the what's going on with the games that I'm playing on my channel. Let's do it like that. We'll start with Forza Horizon 3. Yeah, there's not much going on there. In that way, they are working somewhere behind the scenes. They are working on Forza Horizon 4, which more than likely I don't know if there is, haven't catched anything yet about an official release date, but normally Forza sort of releases their games in September. And one year it is a motorsports game, and the other year it is a Horizon game. So, seeing it was motorsports last year with Forza Motorsport 7, it should be Forza Horizon 4 this year, somewhere in September. Meanwhile, we can still play Forza Horizon 3, and on the side all kind of things are happening. Rumors going on about Forza 4 being in Japan, and that is all based on a leaked picture by someone who made some combination of pictures, and it can be Japan, you never know. There might be some truth, there's always some truth, there's somewhere if you see smoke somewhere, there might be a fire, but it doesn't guarantee you that. So it can be Japan, but it can also be other people want, like the Scandinavian countries up in the mountains there or something like that. Who knows? They're definitely working on it, that more than likely, and it will be released, I don't know, somewhere late 2018, I think. Meanwhile, in Forza Horizon 3, not much going on there. So you can do online racing, but it's not really racing because it's based on XP crap. Personally, I don't like that much. You win 4 races in a lobby and you still lose because somebody is drifting somewhere in a field in the drive to from one to another event and get more points on XP. It is what it is. Other than that, you can do all kinds of stuff there. Online not a problem. Auction house, yeah, is a bit of a problem. For instance, this Porsche 550 Spider has made a 5-star livery this time, so that means that it shows up in the auction house and in the designs and all that. But the problem with the other thing is, you have other liveries, they never show up, and that's a bit of a problem here with this game, in my personal opinion, is that too much depends on those 5-star things. Prices for cars in the auction house depend on the legend painter and legend tuner status. If you have one of the two, you can ask whatever for your car. And if you're 4-star elite painter or 3-star pro painter, you can ask a little bit more. I believe you can ask 100,000 more for if you are pro painter, and you can ask 500,000 more if you're elite painter. If you are elite painter and elite tuner, that is 2 times 500,000 more, then you can ask 1 million more than somebody else for your car. But it's all, yeah. In my opinion, the price of a car should never depend on if you are a legend tuner or a legend painter. Just my opinion. If people have their own design on the car, they should be able to ask a certain amount, but not like these ridiculous amounts of 20 million that some of the people are asking there. Just, I don't know, cap it at 5 million if you put your own design on the car or something like that, and then people can decide if they like it or not. If you create a design, it shows up in the Find My New Designs, and then if you buy a car, you can get a new design and you get it on there. But yeah, if there are 5-star painters who also have a design for that car, those will always be the first ones to show up. So there might be a lot of people out there, this is like a basic design that I've done here, but there are a lot of people out there who spend hours in the design store thing and create and some really seriously cool looking designs, and they share it, and it doesn't even show up in the Find My New Designs. If you buy a car, it shows like 10 or 15 or something like that, and it doesn't even show up, because why not? Those 5-star liveries are there. Like I said, this is a pretty basic one, just some color, a basic line, 550 Spider on the side of the car, and some Porsche thing, so it's pretty basic. You have guys out there who put like complete, they recreate complete pictures of even of people or of cities, of things like that. They put it on their car and it doesn't get in there because this just happened to make 5 stars, and that is in there now, along with some other painters who are always there, like Little Vixen and all that. They are legend painters. They have a lot of designs, and whatever car you go for, they're always there. So they're already, every time, they are occupying a certain spot within those 10-15. So you just cannot get your design up there. And it's a bit double because you have to share it to become elite or legend painter. So yeah. And then you can ask more for your cars, and so it's all related to that. No, it's not a good idea. Auction house is a good idea. The way it is executed, not so much. That being said, that was it for Forza Horizon 3. You can still play it, and they're working on Forza Horizon 4. Other than that, not much news about it at the moment. WRC7. I posted a video on Thursday, I think, with my first run out of 5 attempts for the Rally of Deutschland, which was the second event in the Esports WRC. Esports is sort of like a championship alongside the game that you are playing, and you can sort of compete with other players. In the past, it ran alongside the real life rally, and in a way it does half this year because they wanted to get rid of everything around summertime, and so they are increasing the way or the moment when the rallies are showing. So in the past you had like Monte Carlo in January, Sweden in February, Mexico in March, and so on. Exactly like the real WRC are going through the calendar. At that same moment we were playing esports. This year they changed it up, which resulted in the fact that, for instance, Monte Carlo was still at the same time as the real rally. Sweden next week will also be at the same time as the real rally. But in between we already had, last weekend, Germany, which normally is a rally that takes place in August somewhere. So they are mixing it up. So it's like you have like one alongside the real rally, and then you have like one which is like 6 months later normally, and then you have one alongside again, and so on. And that way they can sort of squeeze in one full season towards summer, while in real life they are still racing from August on, doing Germany and Wales and Australia and all those rallies, but they will squeeze them in the esports event. That being said, because they are doing it, that also means that sometimes these esport events come quicker. We had the Rally of Deutschland last week, but also already next week the briefing for the third event, which is the Rally of Sweden, will start in 2 days and 7 hours and 26 minutes. The briefing is already up, so you can see in the briefing on the esportswrc.com website, you can see a briefing a few days before the actual rally takes place, so that you know which stages we have to do. In this case it will be a 3.8 Karlstad stage on a cloudy evening. You also get like the weather and the conditions and everything. You get that in the briefing, so you know what you can. So you can start practicing already. That's what it comes down to. That's for the short stage, and the long stage is Knun, or however you pronounce that. 14 kilometers long, pounding through the snowbanks at a pretty high speed. Sunny and daytime. So we have a cloudy evening stage, and we have a sunny daytime stage. Short one 3.8, and the long one is 14 kilometers. Those were the 2 stages that we have to do. That means, what does that mean, have to do? Well, as always, you have to do a short stage and you have to do a long stage, and you have to combine those 2, and that is called an attempt. So you do the short one followed by the long one, and that's 1 attempt, and you have from Thursday till Sunday you have 5 attempts. Attempts, that also means you have to put a time in. That means there is no rewind, there is no restart the stage or something like that. No. You have to make no mistakes, or at least try to make no mistakes, and get as fast over the track as possible within those 5 attempts. If you fuck it up 5 times, yep, then you are in bad shape, because then you can no longer participate in that event, and your time, whatever is your best of those 5 bad attempts, that will count towards the championship. Sort of what happened to me in Monte Carlo. Kind of messed it up on the, especially on the long stage, in every of my 5 attempts, resulting in a, I don't know, 284th or something position that I finished up now. Did a bit better in Deutschland. I was just under the top 190 something, which is not bad in my opinion as a keyboard player. I'm up against gamepad players and especially against wheel players, and those guys are like as fast as hell as it is. I'm also not that good in tuning, so I'm sort of aiming for a top 100, which I managed to get this time. I more or less. I finished in 94th or something, and there were a few hours to go, so it's possible. Last minute there are always people showing up doing their 5 attempts. They keep them for Sunday. That's also a possibility. And so it's possible that I finished somewhere 103rd, 104th, something like that, in the final ranking for Deutschland. It all doesn't matter. Top 100 or not, it's just a personal goal that I have, because the only thing that matters is the top 50. Those get points. If you can get into the top 50, you will get points. By the looks of it, although it's early season, only 2 rallies done out of 13, it's gonna be a bit of a battle. We have the winner of last year, Nexel, and he's more or less up against John Armstrong, which is a real rally driver. And they are sort of battling it out for the top positions alongside the regular guys like Jono and Greekman, Hesto, Speed Booster, those kind of people that are familiar with playing the finals because they were there in the first year and also in the second year, or at least in one of the 2. That was it for WRC7. Moving on to Need for Speed Payback. A Need for Speed Payback AllDrive will be coming tomorrow as we speak. What is Need for Speed? Well, it's sort of more or less, it's an update. It's not a DLC or anything, it is an update. And it will be the first step towards online free roam, ladies and gentlemen. Which is something, yeah. Expected? Yes. Expected on release? Yes. But it wasn't there. So it's a bit, in my opinion, it's 4 or 5 months too late. But eventually they are going to bring it anyway. Although I'm assuming that a lot of people already moved on from this game because, yeah, just because there is no free roam online to drive around with your friends and play around with. So they're gonna bring AllDrive Hangout, which will be the first part of a few parts concerning the online. And introducing Hangout, well, it allows you to explore Fortune Value alongside your friends and other members of the Need for Speed community. But from what I read here, you can show off your car, give your environment so that you can socialize and take some pictures and stuff like that. It doesn't say anything about racing or do private lobbies or something like that. I think this will be the next steps coming on. So this first step, AllDrive Hangout, is as it says in the word, you can hang out with your friends. Probably not much more than that yet, but at least it is something. The other steps will be there will be several updates concerning this online free roam thing, and this is the first one. Next to that, they also bring something for the grinding and the leveling and all that. Instead of going through level 1, level 2, level 3 and level 4 parts and so on, you can now buy packs. And that pack, instead of buying a car on level 1 or 2, you can actually say, okay, I want to have a car on level 6. There are a level 6 pack, a level 11 pack or a level 16. A level 6 will cost 71,000 in-game money. A level 11 pack will cost 131,000 and a level 16 180,000. So if you want to get you get a new car and you don't want to grind 3 days to get that thing on level 18, you can, for 180,000, you can buy a level 16 pack, which will give 6 of your level 16 cars on your car, and then you can do a few races to get level 17 and level 18, and then the specific perks that you want. So it's still a bit of grinding, but way less than it was before, because before you had to go from level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and up to 18. Now you can sort of start on level 16 if you are willing to pay 180,000. which for people that play a lot is yeah, a cheap amount, I think. Some of them have million or even a zillion, who knows. Anything else? There will be some new underglow and tire smoke colors. Also something is that you have all these speed cars. If you are playing around with the Wheel of Fortune in the tune shop and try to get better parts, you get a lot of unequipped parts in your list, and you can scrap them all at once now. Instead of doing it one by one, there will be some sort of button that you can push, and you will scrap all of them at once. That's also something that is coming. Next to that, a lot of improvements in the Snapshot Pro. Playing around with filters, more in depth, new filter options, cinematic, cool, warm, grunge, vintage, and so on. A lot of, oh my god, I think about 10 new filters or something you can put on the snapshot if you're into taking pictures and all that, some things like that. There also will be a front menu improvements. That means that when you start up the game, you come in sort of a menu, and from that moment on, yeah, you sort of first have to go to campaign, and then you have to play, and then you can go, you can keep being in solo, or you can go to multiplayer, all that kind of shit. It will all be gone now. Multiplayer or single player, you can choose it from the beginning now. You start up the game, it will be in the menu there somewhere. You can go for either campaign in solo, or you can go for multiplayer and immediately go to the online free roam, and who knows who you can find on the map. Does it work with sessions or anything? I don't know. We will see tomorrow. Next to that, we are still waiting on some of these abandoned cars, like for instance the Nissan Skyline GTR C10, which was supposed to come last week, but yeah, it wasn't there. There were already bug cars, which the abandoned cars were already bugged or glitched as it was, because they were supposed to be there from the beginning. But they weren't, because there were some bugs on that cars, and they had to fix them, and then they brought them one by one as abandoned cars. And yeah, they're still doing that. Every Tuesday normally we got one, but last week suddenly we got the Mazda RX-7 again, which was like the first abandoned car we had alongside the Speedcross DLC somewhere in December. They brought it again, and then they said, in case you missed it. But yeah, it was just like to cover up their mistake, because the C10 GTR, which was supposed to come, was not ready. So, but they said we will bring it next week. So also that one should be there tomorrow. Abandoned car number 7, I think it is. After a couple of Volvos, the BMW M3, the Skyline, it's supposed to come. Last week it was, well, last week we didn't have a car, but the week before that it was the Plymouth Barracuda. That's sort of, yeah, for Need for Speed Payback AllDrive, the long anticipated online. But from what I read here, it will be a, let's say, part 1 out of 5 or something, before you will actually get like the full experience. Online free roam, drive around with your friends if you want to do a race, to go into a private lobby, something like that. We're not there yet, but at least free roam will be there, and you might be able to find people, or link up with your friends and drive along, take some pictures, just hang out a bit. AllDrive Hangout is coming tomorrow. The rest, the racing and such against each other, probably gonna take a bit longer, but it will come. It will come, they said. We will see. Moving on to the Crew, and the Crew 2, which is supposed to come on March 16. Of course, we all know by now that it's not the case. The Crew 2 is postponed, just as other Ubisoft games, and it has to do more than likely with fiscal reasons. They moved it to their new fiscal year, and that means that in the first quarter of the fiscal year they will release it, they said. That means that somewhere between April and September the Crew 2 will be released. Other than that, officially there is not much news about it. I see a lot of people asking, well, when is beta? I signed up for beta a year ago, and I don't know how you guys think sometimes. Probably very selfish, but sometimes it's also a good idea to think logically. Before beta, if you're familiar with the Roman alphabet, you have like alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and so on. So before beta there is alpha. So there cannot be beta before they actually do alpha. So now let us not be hypocrite. Alpha already been. There have been tests. There are other tests going on next to the alpha. Several tests have already been. People were invited for that. If you were in there, you know about it. You cannot talk about it. If you are not in there, then you have to wait. You have to wait on the beta and probably on the open beta. Because it can also beta. You can have closed betas. You can have open betas. Closed beta more than likely will be the same people who are invited for all the tests that already have been, and that's where they will find their players from. And if you're not there in any of these tests, then there's pretty simple. You have to wait for the open beta if they will bring one. Other than that, release date, it's a bit of a gambling. Can be June or somewhere around E3 would make sense. It can be August, somewhere around Gamescom also would make sense. On the other hand, if you are going to have a release of Forza Horizon 4, which is more or less competition, in September or something, I don't think it would be a good idea to release in August. It was too close. Then you have like two of the bigger open world online games clashing into each other. I think they're going to try to avoid that. So my guess would be they are going to announce on E3. That's my guess. Let us be honest about this. It's not some information that I have or something. It's just my guess. Is that they will announce in E3 that the game will be released one of the next days. So somewhere toward ends of June is my guess. But it might be July as well. We will see. But I don't think they're gonna clash with Forza and wait till end of August or beginning of September to actually make it happen. Then they're gonna clash with Forza, and I think they're gonna try to avoid that. It might be even sooner, who knows. Rewards program. My global progression here says 14 out of 15. Not so sure what happens with the last one, but apparently it disappeared. So we had to do all kind of awards within the crew 1, and if you play that, you unlocked all kind of vehicles which you will get for free in the crew 2. But that's basically the crew 1 car list will sort of move to the crew 2. It's the same cars, and those are sort of the ones that you're winning here. It's like a Mustang 2015, Ducati Diavel, and so on. So there's nothing new there, except you can find, of course, certain things you can find. If you go over these rewards, you have all kind of normal cars. So street, those are like streets. But if you move on a little bit, you have a bike as well. Then you have a KTM 450 rally raid, so we already know that rally raid will be in the game. It will be one of the so-called new disciplines. There will be a lot of them, and rally raid is one of them, and this KTM 450 fits into that. Another one in rally raid, the Hummer, which is number 7 that we could win here. The Jeep Wrangler rally raid edition as well. Mercedes AMG GT, that is street by the looks of it. The Nissan Fairlady, that's also a street. The Jeep Cherokee Monster Truck, which brings us to the next discipline, although they haven't announced it yet, but you can just read it in the rewards program. Monster Truck. So there will be monster trucks, which is no surprise, because if you pre-order the deluxe edition or anything, you get the Abarth in monster truck over there. The breadwinner Mazda RX-7 we got there in Drift, so also Drift will be one of the disciplines, as it's just, you can just read it here on the rewards program. It's not like I'm revealing any kind of information. Touring cars. Seeing this Ford Raptor 2010 is in a touring car spec. It's another one of the disciplines. Ford Focus RS 2010 Rallycross. Rallycross is another one of these disciplines, and so it keeps on going like this. Then we come 14 rewards. I'm not so sure what happened to the 15 though. It's not showing on the side, because normally this rewards program was like 1 or 2 cars every month, going through 2017, and towards the end of 2017 it was completed. If you have as you can see here, I have everything unlocked. That also means that there were 3 bonus rewards. One of them was this jet sprint boat, another discipline, the Proto Leopard in this case. That is bonus reward number 1, and bonus reward number 2 is the BMW M2 in a street spec, or street race as it will be called in the new game. No sure what happened to award number 15 and also not bonus reward number 3. I'm assuming they keep it till the actual release of the game, and then it will show up here more or less. Other than that, well, not so sure what's going on here other than that. Let's have a quick look on the sides. I see yellow. Yellow is everything related to street. I see blue, that's everything related to pro racing, and I see pink, that's everything related to freestyle. And then there's also orange, which is off-road. Not anything new that I'm telling here. Again, those are the 4 families that will be in the game. And if I click on yellow, let's have a look. Can we go in? Oh, here you go, as you see. So we have freestyle coming soon, it says, pro racing coming soon, and off-road coming soon. These colors are kind of important in that way that they are related to that certain family, and that will also be the case in game. If you have events or whatever, they will be in yellow if they are related to the street. And also goes for the other colors. The street is not telling coming soon, so that means if you click on that, you can actually get some information here telling you that it's about street racing, and then also other specs are here as well. Next to street, for instance, you have the drift will also be in the street family. Off-road is more for the rally raid and the rally cross, and also motocross, which they kind of revealed a couple of days ago. That will be all off-road. The jet sprint boats, the monster trucks, that will be freestyle. Pro racing, then you come to the thing you saw in the trailer there, the Alpha, so the futuristic Formula 1 car. Touring car will also be here. And then power boats, offshore boats, also pro racing. And then there are other things which they will reveal over time. Other than that, not much known about it. It's just wait and see. If they're gonna do a beta, will it be a closed beta? Will it be an open beta? And when will be the release of the game? Probably towards summer would be my guess. That was sort of going over the 4 games that I'm more or less covering at this moment on my channel, and what is going on with them. For this game, yeah, I'm not going to lie about it. I cannot tell much more about it. It's all bound on NDA. There are things going on. I have been there, and I also means that I have signed a page of paper, which means I cannot show you any screenshots and videos or live streaming, whatever, and or whenever it is we are playing and so on. That will be for later. But even whatever it is that we are doing now, we cannot reveal even after the release of the game. That is sort of how it goes, but that is, I mean, it's nothing new. If you're anxious to wait for information, yeah, you have to sort of be in the invited list, let's put it that way, and then you know how it goes. And that is for every single game out there. Also for Forza Horizon 4, I'm pretty sure there will be testers out there, there will be people that were invited. That's how it goes. And that is no different in Need for Speed or in the Crew or whatever racing game. They have to do tests, otherwise we will have way more bugs than there will. There will be bugs, there will be glitches, that's in every game, and that's on every release of a game. It always has been like that. And then they'll patch it and till a certain moment. And that is sort of the moment when they are going to start working on the next game in their series or something like that. That's how it usually goes. But that's gaming in the 2018. That's how it is. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.